I have Mr. Jack Sim, the founder of the World Toilet Organization, also known as Mr. Toilet. So we welcome Jack.
Today, I feel like a father at a wedding. The bride name is called Sanitation. I watched her grow up as World Toilet Day in the last 13 years. And she looks so pretty today. So how it got started, 13 years ago, when we started the World Toilet Organization on the 19th of November 2001, we declared that day World Toilet Day. And it spread very well because there is a need that is not fulfilled. People were not talking about toilets and sanitation because they see it as a taboo subject. To make everybody participate, we add humor, and with a unique mix of humor and serious facts, it became an icebreaker. And once they start talking about toilet, they could not stop. So in the last 13 years, more and more people participated and became more comfortable talking about toilet and sanitation. Last year, our outreach was 3.3 billion viewers. And this was done with a budget of 0 cents because the media were very participative, and so are the population of the world. When you think about toilet as a taboo, sometimes you don't think how serious it is. Just imagine that there is a very big typhoon recently in Philippines called Typhoon Haiyan. It killed 5,000 people. It's a very sad disaster, and donation pours into this disaster. People were very, very upset. However, if you calculate the number of children that die of diarrhea every year due to the lack of proper sanitation, the number is 800,000 people. That is equivalent to 160 typhoons a year. It means that almost every 2 days there is one typhoon killing 5,000 children, but there was no alarm. How are we so numb to the fact that these children are precious life lost? That is why it is so urgent to talk about the subject, because when you don't talk about something, you cannot improve. And the extent that we don't talk about it is the real reason that 2.5 billion people still do not have access to toilet and proper sanitation and hygiene. When I begin working on World Toilet Organization, I realized that water and sanitation were bundled together. And because water is glamorous, easy to understand, and easy to use, it overshadows sanitation. So in order to solve the sanitation problem, we have to give sanitation its own stage. So over the last 13 years, we lobby very hard together with big NGOs like WaterAid, UNICEF, WSSCC, companies like Unilever, and a lot of other NGOs start to join in. The media was one of the biggest supporters. And as this message starts to seep down to everybody, the subject became legitimate. And this legitimacy brought forward politicians who now feel comfortable to take their photograph next to a toilet and to speak about it, and then to allocate budget and implement programs on the ground. Last year, we started working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Singapore, and through the hard work lobbying 193 countries of the UN General Assembly, on the 24th of July this year, the United Nations General Assembly adopted 19 November World Toilet Day as UN World Toilet Day. So what do we do with this new legitimacy? It's going to give us a lot of strength. It's going to give us a lot of power to start to engage not just at international level, but at national, provincial, and local level, right up to the village level, because that is where it matters most. When we don't use this legitimacy, it will also go away. So I urge everybody to talk about toilets, to highlight the fact that this is actually a very solvable problem. It's only not solved because we didn't talk about it. But once we know that the technologies are available, the prices are actually quite affordable for the existing ones, and there are more new ones that are innovating and coming up. We need to turn this whole thing into a marketplace so that it is sustainably distributed and there is profit, there is jobs creation, there are entrepreneurs running it, and it can be growing by itself because there is not enough donation to give everybody a toilet. And even if you give people a toilet, they may not maintain and clean it, and it may fall into disuse. So beyond sanitation, we have to engage across sector. Sanitation will extend into education, low-cost housing, health, transportation, and all the other sectors. So if we want to solve this sustainably, we have to turn poop culture into pop culture. We have to engage local celebrity, politicians, street operas. We have to put the subject of toilets into love songs for Valentine's Day. We have to take every opportunity we can to make this into a normal conversation. Just like a lot of taboo that has been broken in the past, before the taboo is broken, it looks impossible. Some of them include HIV, women liberation, sex, leprosy. A lot of this taboo, after it's broken, just seems very normal and rational to talk about. In fact, you can hear people singing about making love in love songs very comfortably, where before it's actually a taboo. I hope the toilets also enter into love song very soon. I grew up when Singapore was a very poor country. I have the privilege to understand the whole metamorphosis, and that is why I know that solving the sanitation problem is completely doable. When I grew up as a child, I have the British bucket system. We have to go to the hut outside our house and look down at all the different colors of shade of other people with worms, maggots, big green flies, sanitary napkin, and newspaper, which act as toilet paper. These are very traumatic experiences that I have as a child, and I don't think children in the world should be subject to this, because it is completely solvable. In a short time, when we have public housing, when we have our first flush toilet, I felt like a miracle has happened. I felt like I have now moved into the upper class of society. I felt like the British colonizer who were ruling our country. So sanitation do a lot to bring up the status of people. You see everybody buying cell phone in the base of the pyramid. They buy it because the cell phone gives them status. If they don't, it looks out of place. We should do the same with toilets. Make toilets sexy. Make toilets beautiful, and have an attitude that the toilet is something that reflects the status and the social standing of that family. When we are able to do that, we will be able to make everybody want to have toilet, drive demand, and when there is demand, there will be supply. I hope we all work together so that everybody, anywhere, can have access to a clean, safe, environmentally friendly toilet anytime they need it. Happy World Toilet Day.
Thank you, Jack.